Recep Tayyip Erdogan, another 5 years in charge, but give us a sense of the scale of the economic turmoil that he's facing and what he needs to do to turn things around.
The economic turmoil was there before the elections, and that was one of the reasons why a lot of people, including international investors, expected a possible opposition win. And that's why, after the first round, when Erdogan came on top, we saw a lot of pain in Turkish financial markets as traders tried to weigh the possibility of continuation of Erdogan's unorthodox monetary policies. Tonight, after it became clear that he won the election, Erdogan gave a victory speech in capital Ankara, and there he said his top priority was inflation, which he said he knows is still taking a toll on Turkish people, and he promised to curb it. He said he did it before and he can do it again. What was really important in today's victory speech, we thought, was the fact that Erdogan said he is putting together a team to manage Turkey's finances that has international credibility. Now, that remark is key because a lot of people starting tomorrow will try and read into those remarks and gauge the possibility of whether or not Erdogan reverses from his unorthodox policies. There will be a lot of people who will be reading into those remarks to think that a team with international credibility might involve people who will force a reversal in Erdogan's economic policies. Now, whether or not that will be the case, obviously we don't know yet, but I think we're going to find out in the next couple of days.
What about foreign policy? You know, Turkey's always sat in kind of an interesting position between, East, Central Asia and West, but with the war in Ukraine and Erdogan's position on Ukraine vis-a-vis Russia, more supporting Russia perhaps than his NATO allies, what's going to happen to that?
So, as you said, Turkey has been managing this balancing act between its traditional allies in the West, NATO on the one side, and Russia on the other. Especially the war in Ukraine complicated matters for Erdogan a lot, but it also sort of put him on the world stage because he did help broker the deal that allowed grains out of Ukraine to be exported to global markets. Now, in his victory speech, actually, Erdogan didn't go too much into foreign policy issues, but we know from people close to him, close to his thinking, that we should expect little change in Turkey's balancing act between Russia and NATO on the one hand, but on the other, we might see some movement in some other key issues, such as NATO's expansion to include Sweden as a member. Turkey has been the main holdout there, but we think there might be some progress there, provided that there is simultaneous progress in talks between Turkey and the US as Turkey tries to purchase F-16 airplanes from the US. That is going to be one area of possible movement after tonight's election results, where Erdogan got re-elected and extended his rule by another 5 years after ruling Turkey for 20 years already.
Oh, no, I just want to return to that point you made about the fight against inflation. And of course, so far, Erdogan's tactic has been strangely Orwellian, cutting rates to fight inflation. What's the future of unconventional monetary policy in Turkey?
He didn't go there tonight. Recent days, recent weeks, he's been going on and on about how he's going to continue to push for lower interest rates. And that was something that really was one of the reasons why traders and investors have been bracing for more pain in Turkish financial markets. Tonight's speech, very interestingly, Erdogan didn't go there. And the fact that he did talk about putting together finance management with international credibility did kind of give the indication that he might be considering a reversal, or at least an adjustment in his unorthodox policies. As you mentioned, Turkey has been cutting interest rates in the face of rampant inflation because Erdogan himself thinks that lower interest rates will help lower inflation in the longer term. That's the opposite of the assumption that central bankers around the world have when they put together their monetary policies. But this is what Erdogan believes in, and his central bank did follow his guidance on monetary policy in the last two and a half years, basically, since 2021. Now, what happens there, we don't know yet, but if tonight's speech carries any indication as to the future of Turkey's economic policies, we think that there is a possibility. Tonight's speech does leave room for Erdogan to possibly adjust his economic policies and might select a new team of economic administrators to run his policies.